Welcome to the Lift and Glow Fitness Podcast, the health and fitness podcast for women who want to look great and feel great for good. Whether your goal is to lose weight, build muscle, or you just want to be the healthiest version of yourself, the advice that we share here is going to help you do that by building habits that stick without sucking the fun out of your life. Before we get stuck in today's episode, please make sure to hit subscribe so that you don't miss any future episodes from us. 2025 is coming. So I thought, let's talk about how to lose weight and feel great, not just temporarily, but for good in 2025. So I want to really help people to change their life for good. We're not about quick fixes. And I know, at the start of January, it'll all be about losing weight as fast as possible. Whereas we're all about slow and steady and doing it properly, but doing it once so that you never have to do it again. So how do we lose weight, feel great for good in 2025?
Did you forget what date it was?
No, my phone was ringing. I don't know who it is. 0151 number later. So anyway.
You want to build habits. So you don't want to just try and lose weight as quick as possible, because if you do that, you're only going to end up putting it on even quicker.
Yeah.
Because if you start cutting out food groups, people always automatically think, oh, right, I'm going to cut out loads of carbs, going to cut out sugar and everything that they enjoy really.
They're going to do dry January.
Yeah.
They're going to stop eating chocolate. They're going to stop eating pasta, and they're going to cut out bread. This is what people do in January. That's what everyone
January is a
wants.
Miserable month. Do not make it worse. There is no need.
But none of that stuff is necessary. It is so everyone does it. They're like, oh, I'm not drinking at all in January. They all did it this year. And I was like, watch you just go wild in February.
Yeah.
And then they did.
You do.
And then you ban yourself from chocolate in January. And then when you start eating again, you're out of control with chocolate. You do not need to do that.
No.
That's the obsession with intensity. We need to be focusing on building habits that are actually going to be and I think come at 2025 with, this is the year that I'm going to change my life. It's not the year that I'm going to lose weight or whatever. Take that out of your mind. That's going to be a byproduct of changing your life. And to change your life, you got to change your habits.
Yeah.
And it can't be stop eating this, stop eating that, stop eating this. It's got to be, right, I still want to have a wine. I still want to have chocolate, but there needs to be more of a balance.
It's learning how to manage those things, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's lifestyle change.
You've got to think of how long can I last doing this? And if it's that intense, you're not going to be able to last.
Yeah.
I wouldn't last never drinking again.
No. I always say, if you can't see yourself eating and drinking this way for the rest of your life, then it's not going to work.
It's pointless.
Yeah.
You're not going to learn anything from it.
The amount of clients that I get, and I'll give them, say, 1,800 calories, and they just refuse to follow the advice and go to 1,000. I'm like, realistically, how sustainable is this for you? Are you able to enjoy tea with your family? Are you able to have a nice little biscuit with your cup of tea?
Yeah.
Are you cancelling social plans? And the answer to yes. The answer is yes to all of those things. They're not able to do those things. And so I was like, well, this isn't sustainable then. This isn't actually teaching you anything. Anyone can lose weight by starving themselves. But to lose weight and keep it off, you need to fuel yourself, but in a more balanced way.
Yeah.
That's going to, help you actually get there and stay there.
Yeah.
I think that everyone just needs to slow the fuck down.
People are so impatient.
It's just
Everyone's
everything's so intense. It's intense. Everyone wants results in 4 weeks, 8 weeks, and you can definitely get good results in 4 weeks or 8 weeks.
You can start the ball rolling, can't you? And then you get a bit of momentum on that. Then motivation kicks in when you start to see results, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But you can't expect it overnight. If it's took you 10 years to put that weight on, it's not going to come off in 6 weeks, is it?
100%.
But you can make a dent in it.
Yeah.
You can make a really good dent in it.
Definitely, you can make a start, and the goal is not for you to diet forever. Do you if you're thinking about 2025, think about 2025 as the year you're going to change your life, not the year where you're going to lose weight in the first part of the year and then go backwards. You have to commit. If you actually want to lose weight and keep it off for good, you've got to commit to doing this stuff for the rest of your life.
There's no end date, no expiry date, is there?
We're not losing weight for summer. We're not losing weight for the wedding. We're literally trying to improve how we look and feel forever.
Yeah.
I always say this, but I think a lot of people underestimate is that people think that once weight loss is done, it's complete.
You just go back to the way you were.
You've smashed it. And you have smashed it because it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
But now you've got the rest of your life. Like, so weight loss is this small and then the rest of your journey is like this.
Yeah.
Because you've got all of that time to maintain it. And
Yeah.
that's what most people don't do. So many women listen to this will lose weight between January and August, or let's say June, start of summer. But then they'll regain it all by the time Christmas comes again, because they actually haven't put the long-term work in.
Haven't built the habits, have they? So they just go back to your default setting.
Yeah.
Which is whatever you were doing that got you to where you didn't want to be in the first place.
So what is the actual day-to-day stuff that people should be trying to make part of their life in 2025?
Obviously a balanced diet.
Yeah, balanced diet, making sure that you are getting some form of exercise, but not just training in the gym. You've got to be making effort outside the gym as well. So like going on walks. Loads of people hate going on walks, but it's not even just like going on the treadmill. Like make sure like for your own health, you're getting outside and going on walks out, on the outside, fresh air. Yeah.
We're not meant to be inside all day, every day. Like that's not how human beings are meant to be.
No.
And that's why we're all like riddled with anxiety and all these like
cavemen
sleep
riddled in
issues.
anxiety.
Cavemen.
Don't get me started on cavemen.
No.
I don't know, I've just brought that up.
Cavemen were out and about, like running around in fresh air, like, and obviously our lives are so convenient. Like we can get our shopping delivered, we can get parcel. We drive around the corner to the corner shop to drop our parcels off. Apart from you, Sean.
I know that's actually quite good for me.
No, it's good because you do walk. You walk back and forward to the station. So yeah, just getting out and getting moving, like as a daily habit, and not making it about weight loss, making it more about like health. Yeah.
Your mental wellness as well is as important as your physical, isn't it? I always say to clients who've got like really stressful jobs, get outside. You have got 5 minutes to get outside. And even if you just stand in the back garden, if you're working at home, and get some fresh air.
Biggest productivity hack ever is to go for a walk.
Yeah.
Or to do a session in the middle of the day.
Yeah. If you say you have no time to stand outside, like, I'm sorry, there's no way that you're not on your phone for 5-10 minutes of that day. Like, if you notice, I've been on my phone for 10 minutes, that's 10 minutes where you could have gone outside.
Yeah, definitely. I used to say, when I worked in the office, I used to say I had no time to go for a walk, but I used to sit at my desk and chat shit to my mates at lunch.
Yeah.
And so I did have time to go for a walk, and then eventually I could just take my mates with me to go and chat shit while we go for a walk, and then we all get exercise in.
Yeah.
Or like at the end of the day, if I haven't had a walk, instead of me and Fran vegging in front of the telly, go for a walk.
Yeah.
Like it's just like you just have to be like intentional about
it doesn't happen by
being
accident.
a bit more active.
Nothing happens by accident though, does it? None
No.
of the changes that you need to make will happen by accident.
I think one thing that it's not going to be easy.
No.
So like, I think people think
it's simple, but it's not easy in terms of like, do you know,
this year, 2025 is going to be the year you change your life. It's going to be the year that you feel confident in your skin. So just accept that some days it will feel like shit and it will be hard, but you've got to be relentless at showing up for yourself. Because I think a lot of people think, oh, this is meant to, all I need to do is follow this. And if I can't follow it, then, oh, well, I'm a failure. Then there's no point. No, those hard days,
you learn the
get
most.
through them, but then wake up the next day and crack on. So like what I'm trying to get at is like not over catastrophizing a challenging day, or, you know, like saying no to your whole social life in the name of losing weight, because that's not actually going to help you on the long term.
No.
You're sucking the fun out of life, which means that you're not going to maintain what you're doing. It has to be like a way of life.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to enjoy all of the bits of life in between, your training, your food, all of that.
Yeah.
I think most people actually know as well what they need to do. They know that they need to have a balanced diet. They know they need some daily movement. They know they need to stay hydrated and get decent sleep. Actually doing it is so hard for some people, isn't it?
But this is why accountability is so important. And like,
you're not telling people a lot of the time stuff that they don't already
everyone knows
really
it.
know.
There's that much
I
on
knew
Instagram now.
Yeah.
Drilling down into the nutrition and stuff is a different thing. So we'll drill into like what their diet looks like for them and them as an individual, which they wouldn't probably know.
Yeah.
But everybody knows to go out and get a walk in and stuff.
But that's a lot of it though. Like, so a lot of people will be like, well, I know what I need to do to diet. I need to eat less and move more. But you obviously don't know how to do that for your life. Otherwise, you wouldn't be stuck in this position.
It is individual, isn't it?
Yeah, if you get another set of eyes on what you're eating, how you're training. So like sometimes I'll get a client who doesn't exercise at all, but sometimes I'll get a client who's exercising 7 days a week. Yeah. And so they've got a different, one of them I'm trying to encourage to move a little bit more, and one of them I'm saying, let's pull back, let's like rest more. Yeah. So everything, and it doesn't mean that, so everyone's doing something a little bit wrong and you can always improve it. Yeah. Like even if someone looked at my diet, like they might say, do you know what, if you had a bit more of this, that'd make you feel better or you'd train better, or you know what I mean? And like, I just think having like a coach, having someone to look at it, having that accountability, you're going to make life easier for yourself, because we know when most people start dieting or trying to lose weight, they just starve themselves and then they burn themselves out with exercise. So it's over before we know it. Yeah. Whereas our job is to make it as easy as possible for them. So like you want to eat as much as possible while losing weight.
That feels like strange to some clients, doesn't it, at first? Because it's like, well, because the only way most people have ever like tried to lose weight is by eating as little as possible, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they're like, oh no, the calories seem too high.
Yeah. So it baffled me. Yeah. It baffled me, like the fact that like, so I used to eat like 1,200 calories a day, and I'd think, well, that's going to get me the fastest. And okay, you could believe that, and maybe it will if you actually stick to 1,200 calories
Try
a day.
doing that for more than 6 weeks.
Exactly. Whereas if we're trying to get results and then keep them so that at the end of 2025 we still feel amazing, it's got to be in a more like sustainable way, so that you can still enjoy your life and so that you can still feel good while you're doing it all. Because if you feel like shit and you're exhausted and you're starving and you're fixated on food, there's going to be an end point to it. You're going to have your summer holiday and then you're going to fuck it all off until next January. So I think like everyone needs to think a bit more long term. Like if this is the year that you're really going to keep weight off, then do it a little bit different. Like why do you keep trying the same things every single year? Yeah. And still, every single year you need to lose weight. Like
feel amazing for a month of the year.
Yeah. Not even that though.
No, it's not even that sometimes.
It's literally 2 weeks when they go away on holiday and then they come back. That's all.
Like you want to get to the point, don't you, where you can book a holiday and not panic that, oh my God, I'm going to have to put a bikini on next week or whatever. Like my weight is not the exact same all year.
No.
It fluctuates, but it's not like it fluctuates by a controlled amount.
Yeah.
You know, I allow.
You never go completely out of control.
No, I'm not like spiraling. So, and as soon as my clothes start to get a bit snug, I sort of know.
Yeah.
That's my little right. But I've never then got it. If I do like diet, it's never for more than 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Maximum. You know, it's
just
not like,
get in and get out.
Just get, and I will be really laser focused, because I just think I want to be back at maintenance as quick as I can.
Yeah,
so exactly. Get in, get out, like you said. But then I've got the habits to be able to do that.
Yeah, that was the thing that finally like changed things for me. I went on a last minute holiday with Fran. It was like the first like beach holiday that we went on, so it was booked, and then within a couple of weeks we were there, and I felt, considering the year before that I was like the smallest and leanest I'd ever been, I felt horrific. Like I didn't like any of my photos. None of my clothes from the previous summer fitted me. I was putting outfits on every night and crying. And I was like, this is the goal now. The goal is not the holiday. The goal is to be able to book a holiday for tomorrow and be able to go on it and fit in all my clothes. And I feel like that changed it for me, just because I'd never done a last minute holiday before. I always had this big run up. Yeah. And because this was last minute, I was like, I never ever want to feel like that again. Like I didn't have the money to be buying new clothes. I just took everything and couldn't even fucking wear like stuff I felt great in just a few months before. Yeah. So I feel like there's so many people listening I know will have,
it'll resonate.
Will feel the same. And I know full well, like, you know, last year I booked a last minute trip to Thailand, fine.
Yeah.
Last minute trip happening in January, fine. Like I don't need to diet.
You're not panicking.
No, I don't feel like I'll ever need to really diet again, like in the sense that I did. And that's the goal. That should be everyone's goal.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if it's not, it's just constant yo-yo, constant cycle, and then just out of control or super strict. And are you going to do that for your whole life?
No, I know.
Never really actually feeling good about yourself.
I know.
It shouldn't just be about one time though. Like you want to go through every day, like waking up and not being like, oh, what am I gonna wear? Like,
Yeah.
oh, like, oh, panicking about like, oh, going in the gym and putting on something you don't feel comfortable in. Like,
Yeah.
you just want to be able to throw anything on and just walk out
Yeah.
and not feel
Go shopping,
uncomfortable.
Feel good in the stuff that
Yeah.
you're trying
Yeah.
on, or like going, someone's booked a little last minute date night with you at the weekend and you're not panicking that you don't fit into the clothes
Yeah.
that you did a few months ago. Like, it's just trying to, it's if you've worked hard to get to a goal, it just seems so silly to let all that go.
Yeah.
You then need to work on maintaining weight loss and maintenance. They're two different things.
Yeah.
Everyone does the weight loss, but they don't do
I
the
actually think
maintenance.
maintenance is harder in some respects because you've not got that goal as such. It can be like a bit of a limbo for someone who's been a chronic dieter.
Yeah.
You don't really know
Yeah.
what to do at maintenance.
Yeah. I think at first you're definitely right. I
Yeah.
think because I
You've got to settle into it, haven't you? I
Yeah.
remember when you took me up to maintenance, you
Yeah.
coached me up to maintenance, and I was like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about this at all.
yeah, and you've got it.
and
It's
then I
an
was like, oh,
adjustment.
this is great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's an adjustment. I think at first people like struggle with the fact that like when you're at maintenance, so they relax a little bit more, but then they let themselves go
Yeah.
too much. And it's like with coaching, a lot of people, once they get to the goal, like maybe they get to their goal, like dress size or whatever, and they're like, okay, bye. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh.
Thanks very much. It's been amazing.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
it has been amazing. But
You're not done.
oh, you're not done, because now we
Yeah.
need to learn how to maintain this. I don't want you to
Yeah.
come back to me in 6 months because you've
You need to lose it
regained the
again.
2 stone that we've just lost.
Yeah.
I want you to keep that off. And so like, be patient with the fact that it's not over once you've lost weight. Ideally, we all want to get to our goal by the summer.
Yeah.
But then we need to maintain it. The rest of the year is not done. And it's all about maintaining it then. And that is like a whole new, it's a mindset shift and
Yeah.
it's a readjustment. Yes, you can eat more, but we still have to learn
Yeah.
what that looks like
Yeah.
specifically.
But that's where you're like looking at, like, you want to move completely away from tracking. You want to like, and also as well, I think from a gym side of things, I've found that the girls who enjoy training find it easy, because I'll say, right, we need to set performance goals now because we're not thinking about, fat loss. So let's shift the goals to like other things. You know?
Enjoying it is huge. You have to enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah, and like make that enjoyable. Like,
Yeah.
so it is a mindset thing, isn't
Yeah,
it?
and when we say make it enjoyable, it doesn't mean you're going to enjoy every single
God,
time.
no.
We've literally just
I will
been
not be
saying,
enjoying tomorrow morning when I'm doing those bloody split squats.
Yeah, but we've literally
but
just been saying
I'll
like,
feel amazing
oh,
afterwards.
don't want. We never really want to do it, but we actually always feel good for doing it.
Yeah.
But you have to like, there's no point in hating the food you're eating, hating the exercise that you're doing,
No.
because you're just not going to stick at it. You need to
Yeah.
like it's like with training. So obviously we're really big on strength training, but if a client of mine wants to run and wants to do Pilates as well,
Yeah.
Let them.
then we're gonna fit that in because that's enjoyable stuff
Yeah.
for you. So
They won't
maybe
do
you,
something they don't enjoy.
No.
They won't maintain it.
so maybe you just lift weights twice and then you do your Pilates and you run, and that's and that works for you.
yeah.
If it's enjoyable, you'll stick at it. But if
Yeah.
you hate every minute of it, it's
Yeah.
it's just gonna, as soon as the goal is hit or as soon as the holiday's over, you're just gonna
Yeah.
pack it all in.
Well, it's like when you get like a new client and a common one is to cut out bread or pasta or something, and I'll be like, do you not like bread, or
Yeah.
are you gluten intolerant or something? And they're like, oh no, because like I want to lose weight, and I'll be like, get the bread back in, because unless you're planning to never eat bread ever again, you need to learn how to have bread in your diet.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
And pasta, you need to learn how to have pasta baked for your tea.
Yeah.
And not think you've ruined your week. Do you know, it's
definitely. So like the cutting stuff out, it's just not teaching
it's
you
a
anything.
red flag.
Yeah,
it's a massive
huge
red
flag.
Yeah.
If I think if you join a program and they have strict food rules,
Ah,
that's it. It's
Yeah.
game over, because once the program is over and you start then going against those rules, then you haven't learned how to enjoy bread in a balanced way.
No.
You haven't learned your portion sizes with
No.
pasta. You haven't learned how to balance chocolate. Like lots of my clients eat chocolate every single day. Like, okay, so right now you're having 600 calories a day in chocolate. How can we make that 2 and like bring it down slowly so
Yeah.
that we're not eating chocolate?
I have chocolate
just
every day,
balancing it.
and people
Yeah.
are dead surprised by that
I know.
sometimes.
I have bread every day.
Yeah, I eat bread twice a day
Yeah.
a lot of the time because
Yeah,
I just think
exactly.
it's the easiest
Yeah.
carb. Like,
Yeah.
I just,
Like, if I
I
wake-
feel
you
good
enjoy
off
it.
If I've
it.
got no granola and I know I've got yogurt and fruit, I'll have my yogurt and fruit, but then I'll have a
Toast.
bagel with it.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
like toast.
Yeah.
I love a bagel.
But I think like if it cutting anything out, all it's teaching you is how to cut that out.
Yeah.
It's not teaching you how to enjoy that in a more balanced
Yeah.
way. And that's
Yeah.
why a lot of people lose weight and then don't keep it off because they ban stuff to lose weight.
Yeah.
But then obviously they're always going to go back to having a drink or
Yeah.
eating toast.
I think
You know
it
what
is
mean?
like when you put it to them as, are you happy to never eat that again?
Yeah.
That it's a bit like, oh well no. So
Yeah.
when are you going to start eating bread again then? Well, when I've lost the weight is what they want to say, isn't it? And
Yeah.
you're like, you see how that doesn't work,
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Like-
exactly. And I think people are like, oh, well, I just can't control myself around it. I'm
Yeah.
like, well, just don't have 4 pieces of toast, have 1.
I
Yeah.
don't buy tiger bread in because
No.
Yeah.
if I buy tiger bread, I have, when you go to the shop and you see it and you're like, and Jed will go, no, why have you done that? And he'll be like, that loaf will be gone.
I'm like that with a French stick.
Oh,
You're like a proper
tiger bread
baguette.
with proper butter, and oh my god, the whole loaf is going. So,
Yeah, stunning.
but I've a walk through the door. I can see it on Jed's face. It's like he's made up, but it's like we know we're just going to be drowning in tiger bread in about 5 minutes.
So I do because it's so nice. Obviously, it's hard to control, but I feel like you need to build that muscle
Exactly,
of self-control. Like
I
which
like
we've
bread,
all got.
but I've got like certain things to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I'm like that with chocolate. Like it's very
Don't
hard
buy a
for
share
me.
bag.
I think chocolate talks to me. Like it calls my name from the cupboards. It's like, Hayley, I'm so
I
good.
love chocolate though, you
Make
know.
another cup of tea. Like I feel like it talks to me and it wants me to eat it. And like you just have to like build that like muscle of that's enough.
Do you
or
know what
stop
though?
here.
I think if you get an individual chocolate bar, I think people think there's way more calories in a chocolate bar than you're looking at less than 200 calories for most chocolate bars, aren't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
So it's not like the end of the world if you have a Snickers after your tea. Like,
No.
it really is not.
And you could do
like-
that every day
Yeah,
and still lose weight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like it's like it is. I don't know why people like attach so much like guilt around
Mm-hmm.
those things.
I think rule number 1 for losing weight and keeping it off is not banning anything that you love.
No.
Because like the people who won't have the actual chocolate bar would probably have 3 skinny whips, which will be more than having the chocolate bar in the first place.
You see
Yeah.
that all the
the
time.
skinny bars, and you're like, but you've had like 3 of them when you could have just had what you actually wanted, and it would have
100%.
been
Have your
less.
Snicker.
Have
Have you Snicker? Yeah.
Because what's a life without
If
that?
that's your bit
Yeah.
of indulgence, like we need a little hit of pleasure every day,
Oh
I think.
God, yeah.
And if that's the thing that's going to make you happy, sitting down with a cup of tea, then have that. Like,
Yeah.
let it
Yeah.
make you happy. You can still eat in a calorie deficit. You can still
Of course
lose
you
weight
can.
by doing that. Obviously, you can't have a shea bar every day,
No.
or a little Snicker, or a Boost, or a Twirl, or whatever it is
Yeah.
that you like.
I like a picnic. I like
You're weird.
picnics.
Picnics
What?
and
Do you
curly
like a
whirlies.
picnic?
She likes.
I do like a curly whirly.
Curly whirly, most of it ends up in your teeth, to be honest.
But I like, that's what I
That's what she likes.
That's
She likes
what I
finding it in her
like.
teeth like teas.
different days.
I do brush them.
No, peanut butter Snickers for me.
Oh, yeah.
They're stunning.
Yeah, they are.
I think a lion bar's underrated.
A
Yeah.
lion
I
bar.
love a lion bar.
I love a fruit and nut.
Oh,
Yeah, like a fruit and nut, but whole nut. Anything pretzel as well.
See, why
if you
a
add
whole nut?
salt and chocolate, bam, that's me.
Yeah.
Love it.
The dark chocolate with the salt in's nice as well.
Sea salt. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
into that.
I'm
Green and
partial to a
blacks.
bit of dark chocolate sometimes.
Yeah,
it's
me
actually
too.
not that bad.
Dark
I used to
chocolate
not
actually
like it,
does
but-
have some health benefits as well.
It does, doesn't it? It's good. Well, what is it good for? It's good for loads of things. I think it's good for period pain because
Yeah.
it's got magnesium in it. I'm sure something heart related. We need to read up on
I know,
that.
yeah.
But dark
We'll come
chocolate's
back.
good, yeah.
Yeah. Dark chocolate's good for you. Fill your boots.
So if you like, rule number 1 is don't cut out anything that you love. Second, I would say be in it for, like, if the goal is lose weight and keep it off,
There's no expiry dates.
yeah, there's no
Yeah.
end.
That's why I always say to clients as well, if they have like a bad week or something, and they're like, I've ruined it all now, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you've got literally the rest of your life. Like, it's
Yeah.
1 week.
Do you know if you have a bad day in work, do you quit your job?
No, well,
I mean,
I would have liked to. Not this current job, by the way. I should qualify that with I'm enjoying this
I don't mean like, a bad day might be the straw that broke the camel's back.
don't just
but if
walk
generally
out,
you have an okay and then one bad day, you don't so why do we quit the diet after one bad day?
It's mad, isn't it?
Like our mentality, we lose all logic when it comes to weight loss and health.
I do think as well that having a coach, so I will often, the check-in process is someone going, oh, it's a terrible week, this, and this. And it's me looking at it and going, no, actually, what you've done there is you've managed to do this, you've managed to do that. It actually wasn't the bad week that you thought it was.
Yeah.
And the bits that didn't go to plan, what can we learn from it?
Yeah.
And like next week, that's not going to happen, is it?
How do
and
we
then
navigate?
they're like, how did you manage to spin that? And I was like, because it's not what you think.
They catastrophize everything, like in our own, and I do it within my own. All of us do it within our own.
Somebody else outside, don't you? Sometimes to go, stop being an on.
Even Fran does it with me. Like the other day, I was like, I've had the worst day ever. I didn't get anything done. And he went, okay, we'll list off what you actually did do today. And I was like, well, I did this and I did that. And he's like, well, there you go. You had a great day.
That reminds me of the way you speak to me.
But that's it. He's like, and you just need like an external view on it for you to realise. So, be in it for the long haul. And so that's 2. Don't catastrophize.
Yeah.
Day 3.
Don't self-sabotage.
Rule 3. Yeah, self-sabotage. The fuck it button. Don't hit the fuck it button. And like, be okay. If you go on holiday, live your life, but get back to it when you get home.
Yeah.
I think like, I always have in this in my mind of like, be relentless. So like, just wake up and like, just relentlessly go for what you're trying to achieve. And like, even if you had a bit of a wobble, say if you had a shit day, still wake up the next day and try and make something good out of that. There'll be something positive.
That's just great general life advice, isn't it?
Well, I'm talking about this in a case of business, but it's something that like it works for fat loss. Yeah,
everything does.
Yeah. What else? Lose weight, feel great for good in 2025. So we've got. Don't even know what I've said.
Don't ban anything.
Don't ban anything. Be in it for the long haul. Don't catastrophize, so don't hit the fuck up button. Anything else?
The 3 main ones, aren't they?
Yeah, I would say huge. I do think accountability is life changing for people.
If you know you struggle to stay accountable for yourself, then genuinely finding a coach is like such a good thing. Or finding a gym like us.
Yeah.
Just something
someone
to help for accountability. And it doesn't mean joining a pure gym or a big class where you're going to get lost. It's like actually having someone who knows your name, knows what your life's like, and is going to have a hands-on approach at helping you do what you want to do.
And who actually cares about you succeeding.
Yeah, and I just think if you've been spinning in circles, so if every single January for the last 3, 5, 10, 20 years, you've been trying to lose weight, it's your fucking sign that you need a bit of extra help. If you've been doing this every single year, if every single year you're starting all over again, why do you think that you can do it again this year? Like, maybe you can, but having a bit of help is going to pretty much, like, especially if you really use the accountability in the way that you're supposed to, it could literally change. Like, we've all changed women's lives and we do every single day. But before they came to us, they didn't realise that they needed us.
Yeah.
No.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think people realise what you're going to get from a coach.
Yeah.
You definitely have to engage. Like, we've all had those clients where they pay you money and then they just don't do anything that you say. And,
there's only so much we can do. They've got to do the hard work.
Yeah,
we're just there to support and, guide, as it were. But
you do have to be prepared to do it, and you have to stay accountable too. So, like, if your coach messages you, message them the fuck back. Like, if you're struggling with something, or you've got a meal out, or you something's gone tits up in work, message coach. Like, actually use the person who you've asked for help from.
Sometimes with check-ins though, I think they just want to message you when they've had a good week. Like, they get worried about messaging you when they've had a bad week, when they're struggling, and like, that's when you should be messaging us. Like, the struggle is what we're here for. And like, it's amazing if you've had an amazing week and you want to tell me about it. Like, I love that for you. But like, I can't help you unless you're telling me what you're struggling with.
No, I think people think that check-ins is more of a points thing. It's a way to get like good scoring well. Whereas the great check-ins, okay, it's good to hear. I want to celebrate you. Woo, go you. Yeah. But I want to hear like how I can help you. I want to hear what went wrong. I want to know,
That's where
what
we add
days did
value.
you emotionally eat?
Yeah.
What days did you miss your workout? If you missed your workout, why? What days, how come your steps are at 2000 on this day? What exactly happened? Like actually going in and problem solving is what our job is. Like it's not a yes, go you. Okay, we're there for that as well.
Yeah.
But we actually want to help you solve your problems. We actually want to make all of this fit into your life and fit into it for good. And this is the thing about having this external view is that like we could look at someone's food and be like, this girl's starving. Like she's eating her calories, but she's starving. And we could know that just by looking at what they're eating, and they don't realise they're making it harder for themselves. And then that could be literally the answer for you getting results and keeping them forever. It's just that you have that extra bit of support.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for. We're here to look at them things. Like that's like our job. Like you might not, the way you have just been having a conversation before and you were pinpointing things, like we have an outside view of things for them that could potentially help them.
And we've obviously got experience of all the different lives that people live. So we're like, we've got solutions in our head that they've probably not even thought about before. So I do think that having accountability from a coach or a community is like, because I know the amount of girls, so like we had the Lift and Glow party the other day, the amount of girls who come up to me and said, Hayley, I have never stuck at exercise this long. And it is because
it's amazing,
of
isn't it?
the community and the support and that initial 6 weeks where everyone gets nutrition coaching. Sometimes that 6 weeks is enough for them to just be like, oh my God, I've learned so much. And now I just need to carry on doing what I've learned. And like,
it's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It's so sick. Like it's just boss. And like, I think obviously it's an getting a coach or coming to a gym like Lift and Glow. Getting a coach isn't cheap.
No, it's not.
It's not cheap. Getting that support's not cheap.
You can't put a price on your health.
You can't put a price on your health, and it's literally setting you up for the rest of your life. So the even clients who I worked with 2 years ago, when I get messages from them and they're like, still chipping away. Like I've maintained everything that we did. I just think, fuck yeah, like
it's amazing.
That's what it's about. Losing weight is great, but keeping it off is really what. Like if I've worked with a client and then a year later they come back to me back at square one, I'm thinking the work was not done. Like we didn't finish the process. We didn't do it all.
We've had clients who have gone away and come back and still maintained it though. Like the amount of people that have come and they were like a completely different person. And then they've changed, and then for whatever reason they've gone for a bit and come back, but they're still the same because they've maintained it, and they're like,
because of what they learned with
exactly.
coaching.
Building the habits. And kept them.
So I think, is there anything else that we would say? Obviously a calorie deficit is vital. It's not going to happen without a calorie deficit. And I do have to mention there are different ways of achieving a calorie deficit. If you really, really don't want to track your food, you don't have to track your food. There are other ways. Tracking food's definitely the easiest, I would say.
Because you've got a lot more flexibility. Like you're not just... There's a lot of things you would have to make a little bit more restrictions if you wasn't tracking your calories. And also it's a really good tool. It's not something you have to do for it's not something you have to do for the rest of your life. But I do think it's a good way at starting. I think a lot of people put like they demonize it a bit now, and like you don't realise how useful calorie tracking is.
Educational.
I think it'd be a massive wake-up call to a lot of people.
It is.
When
it's
they're
like when a client starts tracking things like alcohol, or they're like, oh my God, I didn't realise that Marcy's meal was
something. The little coffee that they have on the way in. Like, you do know that's 200 calories a day. Or something like, it's only coffee.
Just seeing the numbers can obviously make people like really, I know people are anti-tracking, or maybe they've tried tracking many times before and decided that they don't want to do that again, and that's fine.
It doesn't suit everyone.
It doesn't suit everyone.
If someone's got a tendency to become a bit obsessed with it, then I'll steer them away from it.
But it is a fantastic way to learn about what's in your food. I remember doing it and really sticking to it and just thinking, wow, like you can do a stint of it, matter of weeks, and then just build your own meal plan within that, and then just come away from it and then return to it if you want to.
I don't track all year round.
I never ever track. Even dieting this year, when I dieted after Orlando, I didn't track a single calorie.
But my breakfast and lunches, like I know how many calories are in there now. I still weigh my yogurt out, and I still do, like weigh my granola, and I know how many calories are in
Yeah.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because
But that's because we are repetitive,
Yeah.
and that's part of building routine and building habits, isn't it? Because
Makes life
that's
easier.
another good way.
yeah,
That's
that is another good way to lose weight and keep it off, is to like find staple meals. So find some meals that because like I used to eat food and be like I hated what I was eating. I would like chicken
Yeah.
breast with vegetables, hated it.
Plain
So-
chicken and broccoli.
Yeah. So if you just find your staple meals that you enjoy and that you can literally eat
Yeah.
all the time.
Everyone's different.
Oh, everyone eats so differently, don't
Like,
you?
yeah.
you like protein porridges, them protein things.
yeah,
I
I
feel
don't
like
like
knocking
them.
it every time I
I
try.
don't really eat them.
Do you
that
not like
much
them that much anymore?
I do like them, but
I
they're
don't
just
like porridge at all.
they're
Yeah.
handy more than anything. So being more active, obviously, so making the conscious effort, training in the gym. I feel like weight loss is actually super simple.
It's simple, it's just not easy, is it? Actually doing it.
It's simple
is-
when you get your head around it. Like once you learn it,
Yeah.
like it actually is.
I honestly think it's 90% mindset.
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
losing weight, keeping it off, building habits that actually last. It's more about your mind than it is about what you eat and exercise. If you fix all of the beliefs and like the barriers that are going on in your head, and like also those behaviors like you hitting the fuck it button when you've had a stressful day,
Yeah.
or you self-sabotaging, or like eating your emotions or whatever, if you work on all of that, then the rest is easy,
Yeah.
isn't it? And like taking care of yourself generally, like sleep and all of that, then the rest becomes much
Yeah.
easier.
Everything's much easier if you've had a good night's sleep.
I know. Do
Yeah.
you know what? Like that was a shock to my system. Surviving off 3-4 hours sleep that was when I realised. I was like,
Yeah.
oh dear.
It's grim, isn't it?
The wheels are falling off. Have we got anything else to add? Anything else for 2025? We don't, there's nothing magic basically, is it?
No.
There's no magic bullet. There's no like one thing.
And social
It
media
is.
is going to be full of people selling quick fixes
Ignore
in
it all.
January.
Ignore it all.
Because
So-
it's a noisy place, so social media, isn't it? There's
Yeah.
so much
You're going to be getting
rubbish.
you're going to be getting like low calorie things. You're going to be getting meal replacements rammed down your throat. You're going to be getting skinny teas, fat burners. What else is there? Special K diet
fasting.
still a thing. Fasting.
Workouts to get your abs.
Oh yeah, ab workouts.
Oh, yeah. From,
You're
the,
gonna
from the
get-
person who's genetically lean.
Yeah.
Do you
You're
know,
gonna
like,
get, what's those like like 21 day challenges? I'm sorry, love, but 21 days is not
I know,
enough.
3
And,
weeks isn't long
You know,
enough,
you
is
just
it?
like there's just going to be so much nonsense and so much shit out there, and like we know we're all about
Just not
long
getting
term
sucked
sustainable
into it,
changes,
isn't it?
and it's like stop looking for the quick fix, stop looking for the silver bullet, and just do what you know you're meant to be doing. And if you struggle to do that in the past, then get help.